It is a random Thursday. I just got my haircut because I have a video shoot on Saturday where I am going to be filming some videos to promote the Unstoppable Badass event, which I'm so freaking excited about. But I got home after getting my haircut and I was like, I am craving something sweet. I have a sweet tooth. Okay. I love something sweet. I love my chocolate. I definitely got it from my grandpa, who had also a sweet tooth as well too. He loved everything chocolate. He would always have dark chocolate at his house, chocolate cake. Like I definitely got my sweet tooth from him. But I got back home and I was like, I want something sweet. And again, this is not new. Like I love my sweets. I'm sure many of you guys here have a sweet tooth as well too. And it's a random Thursday. I'm like, I'm gonna go and have something sweet. So I grabbed a few things of dark chocolate and these other, they were like apricot, coconut, energy bites or whatever they were. And I had some. Like, it's not that big of a deal. This is why I never binge. I never binge because I honor my cravings. I never binge because when I am like, I feel like something sweet, I don't judge myself. I don't deprive myself. I don't try to just distract myself. I don't tell myself, oh, wait, what did you have for breakfast? And then let what I had for breakfast determine whether I can have something sweet or not. I don't say, what did you eat yesterday? Oh, well, how many did you have chocolate yesterday? Oh, wait, how was your nutrition this week? If I am wanting something sweet, I will allow myself to have something sweet, which is why I don't binge. I don't judge myself. I don't say, oh, well, Lorna, you've been eating a lot more sweets lately. Oh, but Lorna, you had binge, because I honor my cravings. And when you actually start to honor what it is that your body is actually craving and wanting, you will have less urges. And this did not just happen for me. I've worked with so many clients at this point, and they say the exact same thing. Is it scary at the beginning? Absolutely. But my clients, I have so many clients right now where they're like, I don't even remember the last time that I binged. And it's not a magical solution, but when they actually want something, they allow themselves to have it. The more you resist, the more the urge persists. And so you really have to ask yourself, am I trying to resist? Am I trying to resist my cravings? If you're trying to resist your cravings, then you're going to have urges that are persistent. If you actually honor your cravings, the urge will diminish. I don't have any urges anymore. I haven't felt a single urge in, it's going to be almost 5 years at this point. And a huge reason why I don't have binge urges is because I allow myself to have what I'm craving. The way that you honor your cravings is when your body is saying, just like, I came back from getting my haircut and I was like, oh, you know what? Something sweet sounds good. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. I don't even know what time it was. And what did I do? I went and I grabbed something sweet. That is honoring your cravings. The opposite of honoring your cravings is, oh, I probably shouldn't, and then resisting and then trying to drink more water and let me have a substitute. So instead of having something sweet like the chocolate that I really want, let me just have some grapes. Let me just have an apple. But if you don't really want that, then you're actually dismissing your cravings. Honoring your cravings is, if I want the chocolate, I'm going to have the chocolate. The way that you start eating normally after restricting and binging without weight gain, somebody asked. See, this is where you have to do things step by step. So I think a lot of the times people think if I'm just allowing myself to eat whatever I want, that's not what I'm saying. I don't just eat whatever I want because I don't feel good when I do that. But what's very important is distinguishing, are you actually experiencing a craving or are you experiencing an urge? They are two separate things. So a craving is specific. I want dark chocolate. I want a cookie. I want a smoothie. I want an apple. If you know exactly what it is that you're wanting, that's a craving. If you don't really know what you're wanting and you're feeling like I need to give in right away, that is an urge. And so a lot of the times people are like, oh, I just allow myself to eat whatever I want. Well, then, yeah, you're going to probably gain 1,000,000 pounds. Not actually, but you're not going to feel good. And that's how you feel really uncomfortable in your own skin. It's yes, honoring your cravings, but get this, when you honor your cravings, you're going to be able to stop when you're full because you're satisfied and you're going to have less urges. This is not, okay, well, if I want a cookie for breakfast and if I want a cookie for lunch and if I want a cookie for dinner and if I want a cookie before I go to bed, I'm just going to have it. You're not going to feel good. So this is also where gentle nutrition comes into play. I always get my clients to ask themselves, how do certain foods make me feel? Technically, there are no rules, right? Like technically, there are no rules. Once you've stopped dieting, there are no rules. But you aren't just going to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, because you're going to probably feel bloated and inflamed and just not feel well. So instead, it's like, okay, I feel like, for example, today I came home, I had some dark chocolate, I had some apricot coconut bite things, and I was like, okay, great. I honored my cravings. Now I don't get into the screw it mentality and say, well, Lorna, you shouldn't have had that. Because if you judge yourself, that's when you're going to say, there's no point of having a nutritious dinner. And then that's when you just say, screw it for the rest of the day. Versus, I'm like, no, I honored my cravings. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything bad. So I'm just going to go about my day. And that's it. And this is how you start eating normally, is you remind yourself that you can safely honor your cravings. You can safely have something sweet in the middle of the day. You don't actually have to wait until you're home alone. You don't actually have to wait until it's late at night. You don't have to wait until your husband goes to bed. You can have it on a random Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's totally okay. And, a lot of the times people always tell me, like, but like, do you actually eat what you want? Yes, but I have boundaries within myself, right? So again, like, I prioritize nutritious foods because it makes me feel good. But at the same time, I don't say, no, I can't eat that when I really want it. If you are judging yourself, if you are depriving yourself, you're going to be impulsive. The number one way that you reduce impulsivity is by actually allowing yourself to have the foods that you desire. This is like so important. If right now you are still binging, if right now you are still impulsive, if right now you're still eating past fullness and overeating at the majority of the meals, I guarantee you that you are not actually allowing yourself to honor your cravings. You're not actually allowing yourself to eat what it is that you want. I had a client that shared with me on our coaching call, and she said, I went out to the restaurant, and because, well, at first she ordered something and it wasn't even satisfying. And she was like, I know that if I don't have something that's satisfying and if I don't actually honor my cravings, I'm going to go home and binge. So she was like, I'm going to go order something else that's actually satisfying for me. And because she did that, she did not come home and binge because she was satisfied. This is so important. This is so important. You will have less binges. You will have less urges. You will stop overeating when you honor your cravings. And it doesn't matter, you guys, like, if you're saying, like, some people will say, Lorna, I honor my cravings. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me more. And they're like, well, maybe not today because I had chocolate yesterday, so I can't have chocolate today. That's not honoring your cravings. If you're saying that I'm honoring my cravings, but oh no, but if I had oats for breakfast, then I can't have chocolate in the middle of the day today, that's not honoring your cravings. If you're like, oh, but I had chocolate yesterday, so I can't have chocolate today, that's not you honoring your cravings. Switch your mindset around cravings and stop seeing cravings as this big, scary monster, because cravings are not bad. And you're going to start to see this, like, when you allow yourself to eat what you want, it's mind blowing. It's like you just become less impulsive with food. Like, I don't want to say it's easy, but it becomes so much easier. So some people binge on salty foods, and then some people binge on sweets. But it doesn't matter. See, here's the thing, you guys. When it comes to binge eating, it's not about the food. It's not about the food. There were times where I would binge on like rice and chicken. Like, I would binge on a meal. So it's not about the food. You have to reduce impulsivity. And whether it's salty foods or it is regular foods or it's sweets, you need to release your food rules. You need to stop any thoughts in your mind of like, I shouldn't be eating this or I have to eat this, because again, when you're depriving yourself, you're going to be more impulsive. But then also really ask yourself, when are you having those salty foods? If you are only having those salty foods, let's say it's like late at night, or let's say you don't allow yourself to have the salty foods, and then what ends up happening is you finally allow yourself to have it. It's like, okay, well, the reason that you ended up binging on it is because you just haven't allowed yourself to have it in a really long time. So taking foods off of a pedestal and actually normalizing it and having those foods more often is really important as well, too. I binge on whatever, even really healthy foods and meals. Yep, that used to be me as well, too. Like, I kid you not, I would binge on like strawberries and yogurt, because it's not about the food, it's the feeling that you get when you eat those foods. So when you're binging, you can't taste the food, right? Like, I never tasted the food. When you're going to town and you're just binging like crazy, you don't really taste it, right? And so it's not about the food. It's the feeling that you get. It's like, I actually don't want to feel. It's the comfort, it's the relief, it's the numbing out, the pleasure. So some people will have different some people will have different varying levels of craving. So some people will have, more intense cravings compared to other people. Also, it could be, the time of the month. So maybe, the time of the month, maybe you have higher level cravings than other times of the month, just because, hormone fluctuations and things like that. But again, regardless, is you have to get honest with yourself and say, is this truly a craving, or is it an urge, or is it just habitual? If you are having cravings around the same time or the same location, I guarantee it's not a craving. True cravings don't come on at a certain time. You know, at 8 p.m. every single night, I'm sorry, that's not a craving, that's a habit. When you're home alone and you're like, oh, I'm just magically craving something. No, you're not. I love you, but no, you're not. If it's only when you're home alone or it's late at night and it's always when you're watching TV at 8 o'clock at night, I'm so sorry, but you're not experiencing a craving. It is habitual. If you have nothing to do before your next meeting and it's like 20 more minutes until you have your next meeting and you're like, I'm bored, let me go eat something. You're not having a craving. You're bored. And you need to learn how to be with yourself and to be with your body and not always feel like you need to be doing something. I actually do not recommend portioning any of your food out because portioning is what creates pressure. When you only tell yourself half a cup, one cup, that's restrictive. Even if you don't think it's restrictive, it's subconscious restriction. So I wanted to come on here because people ask all the time, like, Lorna, how did you stop binge eating? And also, how did you maintain having no binges? Like, I have not binged. It's going to be almost 5 years. And the reason why is because, yes, of course, I've rewired my brain. And I talk about this. I teach this inside of the Root and Rewire membership. But I honored my cravings. I took foods off of a pedestal. I stopped saying, no, I can't have that food and I shouldn't eat this food. I built up trust. I built up trust around foods. When you really trust yourself, you won't overdo it. That's the thing. It's not about discipline. It's not about more motivation. It's about building up trust and getting rid of your urges. I can effortlessly stop when I'm full and I'm not trying. Come on, Lorna. Come on, Lorna. Come on, Lorna. I'm not trying. I effortlessly stop when I'm full because I trust myself. I've also gotten my fullness cues back. Now, this was not always the case. At the beginning, I would overeat at every single meal. At the beginning, I would overdo it all the time. If I had some chocolate, I would always overdo it. It takes time, you guys. It takes time to rewire your brain. This is why, programs like I have, like my membership, my Root and Wire membership, it's 6 or 12 months because you want to have time to actually reprogram your brain, to get back in tune with your hunger and fullness cues, to quiet the food noise in your mind. But when you actually do things properly and you build up trust, you get back in tune with your hunger and fullness cues, this is how it's effortless for you to stop when you're full, to stop the crazy food noise, and to have a few pieces of chocolate and just simply move on with your day. You don't get into the all or nothing mentality anymore. You know that you're allowed to have some chocolate and then you just go about your day. So people ask me this all the time and I wanted to come on and answer this. And, it's just, when you have a good relationship with food, you don't overthink. I'm not like, oh my gosh, okay, what did I eat today? It just feels effortless. Just like, you pour yourself a glass of water. You're not like, oh wait, how many glasses of water did I drink today? Or like, it's just a thing. Like, it's just easy. Just like I just make my bed. It's just something that you don't really think about. And food will become that way for you when you do things properly and in the right order. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the videos and that they're so helpful. So if you guys want to learn more, if you're like, okay, this all makes sense, I have my Root and Rewire membership. It's my 6 or 12 month program. This is where you learn all of the foundational tools to rewire your brain so you can stop eating when you're full. You get out of the all or nothing mentality and you finally break free from the diet binge cycle. It's a 6 or 12-month program. You learn all the tools to rewire your brain. You're part of an incredible community that will really help you to feel less alone. And you also get coaching with me every single month. So you can actually come on, ask your questions, and be able to just feel in momentum, have more support based off of what you need with your relationship with food. So if you have any questions about the membership, you can message me. The link is also in my bio. Just click the link in my bio, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, the link will be down in the show notes. It's the Root and Rewire membership. If you're like, Lorna, what's the best place to start? Jump inside of the membership. Jump inside of the membership. And I'm telling you, if you actually watch the trainings, if you come onto the coaching calls, if you ask your questions and you plug into the community, it is literally impossible for you to not have a good relationship with food. I've designed it in a way where I made it so easy for you to succeed. Community, support, learning the tools, coaching with me. You don't need 25 different things. It's like I've created one space for you to truly have it all. So jump inside of the membership, get plugged into our incredible badass community. You don't have to figure out how to do this on your own anymore. I've used my root and rewire process on myself, which is why I was able to stop binge eating and have a good relationship with food. And you can do this as well too. You're not different. You guys, just a few years ago, I was thinking about food all day. I was eating past fullness at every single meal. I was scared to go out for dinner. I never wanted to be intimate with my husband. I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. And now food feels effortless. So you can absolutely do this as well too. There is a way where you can completely stop your binge eating. And I'm definitely the person that will help you get there. So I can't wait to see you inside of the membership. And we'll see you guys soon. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.